once again, it looks like they're going to lose. And they snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. They've already won football games by blocked field goal when it looks like they are dead to rights. Denver had them dead to rights.
Yep.
Their first opponent of the year didn't have an opportunity to go for 2 to win or force overtime for a chance to win because Isaiah Likely's foot was out of bounds by a quarter inch. Not even. Less than that. Centimeters. We can go metric.
Toenail.
Okay? Know about that. We know about other ones, right? There's been other ones. The one Carolina had him did their rights. Just left too much time on the clock and let Patrick Mahomes keep running down the sideline to set up a game-winning field goal. That's just the latest one. Until Black Friday, when the Raiders had him dead to rights. And all they had to do was just run one more play, get a little closer for a game-winning field goal with no time left. Aiden O'Connell claps for the football, turns to his left, not looking for the snap, and it hits him in the shoulder. And the Chiefs recover.
What?
And the game is over.
Yeah.
It is yet another instance of the Kansas City Chiefs dodging the bullet. And in conjunction with the Dolphins' loss on Thanksgiving night, and with this happening on Friday, prior to the Buffalo Bills clinching their division, which we started the show with, the Kansas City Chiefs clinched a playoff spot. 10th consecutive season they've made the playoffs. Did it with 5 weeks remaining. That's the tied for the earliest the team has clinched a playoff berth since the 70 merger. The 2009 Colts were the last team to do it. We all know the Bills matched it on Sunday night. If I told you
What have I told
a team won 14 straight times in a game of a one-score margin, including the playoffs, to be the longest such streak in the history of the National Football League, and have a 54-point differential in 2024, you'd say that team is a force to be reckoned with. They win games late. They know how to close. And they're scoring more than the opposition quite a bit. Oh, and by the way, they have an all-time great at quarterback who now has 100 wins as a starter, including the playoffs, to become the first such quarterback in the history of the franchise to hit a century mark in wins. And there is another quarterback in this franchise's history that's in the Hall of Fame. Oh, and he's tied Tom Brady for the fewest starts to 100 wins by a quarterback since 1950, 126 starts. And you'd say that, well, and that team's also the two-time defending Super Bowl champs. Would you say that team's in trouble? Oh, and they're 11-1 through 12 games. Would you say that team's in trouble? I think everyone else on this set would say that team's in trouble. I know you do, Chris. Do you think this team's in trouble, TJ Jefferson?
I mean, I get what Chris is saying, right?
What are you saying?
I haven't said anything, actually.
Okay.
You've been saying it all year,
please.
especially recently.
I just think you watch them play and you're like, dude, come on.
But the fact of the matter is when you find ways to win, right? And they're winning by any means necessary. Some games they're outperforming.
Yes.
Some games the refs are helping them.
Yes.
Some games divine intervention is just beaming down on them. Sometimes they're pulling out a field goal block. When you watch the replay, you see how they stack the line. They're just finding ways to win, and I think there's something to be said about that.
That's all they got to do.
Yeah, there's another F word, fluky. They're
That's
winning fluky.
I'll take that too.
And at some point, you can't rely on that.
You don't have to.
But they are. I mean, really, they're 7-5 if all these fluke things don't go their way.
Somebody at some point, because it's now official, they're in it. They're in the tournament. And it's only a matter of time till we find out how many home games they get in said tournament. And home games guaranteed for them if they keep staying in the tournament. It's only a matter of time we figure that out. And they are one of the 4 teams that play on Christmas Day, meaning they have the dreaded Sunday, Saturday, Wednesday, Week 15 through Week 17 schedule. After their Sunday nighter against the Chargers in Week 14, they visit Cleveland. They're home for Houston. They're at Pittsburgh, which is going to be a monster game. monster game. One of the rare moments I'd imagine people in Buffalo are rooting for the Steelers. Because all the Bills need is just to be one game better than the Chiefs, and they're the 1 seed. Yeah. Somebody's going to have to beat this team, the 2-time defending champs. Somebody's going to have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Or not. Now, Chris is saying the team that will beat to knock off the Kansas City Chiefs at the end of the day will be the Kansas City Chiefs. Something's going to happen where the fluke doesn't appear and the switch doesn't get flipped. I just won't take the cheese. Not going to do it.
Can't.
And I will obviously either go down with the ship.
It's not a matter of taking the cheese. It's you're trusting.
It happened last year.
It's trusting what you're seeing.
Same thing, different stories. It's a different
trusting
Mad
what
Lib.
you're seeing.
It's the same Mad Lib story, just different proper names and proper stats.
And that's okay.
Just different numbers.
And if one team
same Mad Lib
decides to run it more than 6 times in the game, perhaps there was a different ending last year. It's like, come on, they're right there. Just do it. Just. They're dying to get beat.
If it only
just
were
beat
that
them.
easy. You're saying it like
they're asking you to beat them.
Yeah, but you're saying it like these teams aren't trying to beat them.
Week after week. Well, they're
trying.
doing stuff to shoot themselves in the foot when they have the opportunity to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Just do it. They're asking you to beat them.
They gave up 5 sacks of Mahomes. It's just, for the second straight game. That's a problem. Another problem is they're not running the football as consistently. And,
Pacheco's back now.
Pacheco's back. I know 44 rush yards on 7 carries. That's not bad. And your point is, again, here's the stat that shows off the flukiness that you're referring to. That .54 point differential, that plus 54 I mentioned, is the lowest all time for a team to start 11 or 1 or better through 12 games.
I'm not saying it's the same, but a couple of years ago, weren't the Steelers 11-0? How did that season end?
Well, but they weren't two-time defending champs with a bunch of players on the team other than Roethlisberger who knew how to close.
But that's like
Hall of Fame coach.
Hold on, that's like 2-time defending champs, yes, but that's like looking at the roulette wheel and being like, oh, it's a red. It's got to be red again. It's a different season, different circumstances.
Same number 15.
This is so exciting. And by the way, it's a three-peat on the line too. It's an unprecedented result on the line.
They've also lost to the 2 teams that the Super Bowl team they could play, Detroit and Buffalo.
Well, they lost to Detroit last year, Mike.
I know that,
Buffalo
but I'm saying
was
Detroit hasn't changed much. If they play them in the Super Bowl,
they're better.
They're better. That's what I mean.
They're a more confident team than the one that knocked them off in week 1 of last year.
And Buffalo beat them already.
No, I get it.
Yeah, but never.
Yeah, Buffalo did it last year.
And the Ravens the Ravens are good enough, and maybe the Steelers are good enough, and maybe and ifs and buts and candies and nuts, and maybe somebody's grandmother's a wagon with the wheels.
True.
Bottom line
I'm saying is
a great term.
Somebody is going to have to do it.
Oh yeah.
Let me ask you guys this. Bottom line is this: it's fourth quarter. There's 2:20 left. The Chiefs are down 2. They're down 6. They're down 8, and they've got 2 timeouts in the ball at the 20. Are you thinking in your mind Mahomes is going to lose this game? Because I'm thinking
because
he's going to find a way to win this.
And thank you for proving my point. A team that gives the Chiefs that opportunity is stupid and doesn't deserve to win.
Exactly.
Take it all the way down to 0. Yeah. Don't let them get the ball back.
That's what the Patriots
you have to play smart and you have to play perfect. It's out there, and other teams can do it and have the ability.
And you also have to finish perfect, even if you have taken it all the way down to 0, like the Broncos did.
Exactly.
And didn't defend on their field goal attempts properly. You got to do it all the way. You got to do it all the way down. You got to do it all the way down. But the Raiders had them. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.